Well, hey everyone, I'm Stuart. Firstly, I just wanted to say I'm very humbled by all the new subscribers and thumbs up. Thank you. If the afterburner video I did hadn't have done so well, we probably wouldn't be here now. But hey, these videos aren't about me, they're about the cool stuff we work on, so let's get right to it. In this video, Mikey has asked if I'd help him with a 1985 SEGA Hang On arcade machine, and of course, I said yes. Let's go. All right, well, at your leisure. Let's see what happens with a bit of juice. Let the smoke out. Is there a switch?
On that push button, is it?
It does actually say main switch, doesn't it?
Nothing.
Not even the sound of a fan.
To be expected, I guess.
Well, no CRT glow, nothing. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
What do you got? Ugly mess? Well, it's just two big bolts.
Two big bolts. Oh.
Well, that'll be a bit easier.
Cool.
Gears and bits. Hey.
Gears works.
Well, there you go. Lovely. All fiberglass. Oh yeah, man, this thing's had some water, all right. First thing I notice is it doesn't look like there's much burn on that tube, so you never know, you might be lucky.
Yeah, cool.
There. And what is it? A Kega.
KZ18. Yeah, is that an 18-inch then?
Well, could be. That would be odd.
That would be an odd size.
Hope it's not something extremely odd, because that would suck. Yeah. Trying to find another.
Jeez.
Does it keep coming? Does it go further? Oh, it does.
She's rough.
Yikes. It's as nearly as nice as the Rat House PCB. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh. Definitely some water damage too.
That's the amp, right? Is it the amp?
Yep.
I guess for us, if you've got spare PCBs coming, we really need that to be a goer.
Yep.
Obviously that's replaceable.
There's surprisingly not too much poo in there.
Is that just like rust falling off something in particular, like a rust line?
Yeah,
Rust dust?
maybe.
Just seems to be on those white chips. Well, we'll have a look over the wiring and then you get those other PCBs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sooner or later we're going to have a working game. Okay, here is the CRT tube out of the SEGA Hang On. At first glance, the tube actually doesn't really have any burn. Some very mild burn where you might see like the high scores displayed all the time. That's about it. But more importantly, very rusty. It's seen a lot of water or moisture. I'd say it's seen water rather than moisture because we can see some water track marks down the back of the tube, and obviously this coating's been wet to the point it's sort of bubbled it off. It's an odd sized tube, 48. Here on this sticker it says 47, that's centimetres. Now, it's such an odd sized tube, I think it might be 18 inch or something like that. Yeah, see there's an 18 there on the start of the numbers. I don't have a replacement tube if this tube is no good, so it's fingers crossed. I don't really want to go spending money just yet rebuilding a chassis or sending it away to get help. I just want to Frankenstein something up to test this tube first. If we find that this tube is good, then we can sort of visit the chassis and spend some money there and get that all working good. I did find another chassis. This is actually the same chassis as that one in there, it would appear, but has a different neck board. This is CR23 and this is the earlier plug or socket, I should say. But it looks like it's interchangeable, like it's really just wire for wire. I can't see any differences really, or major differences between the actual chassis themselves. It looks like the same chassis apart from these sync switches here. But I'll get that chassis out to take a look at it. We'll compare, see what the differences are. I might ask some questions to see if it's okay to swap the neck boards. I think it will be. And that's the way we will hopefully get something out of this tube. I don't want to power on that chassis because it has simply seen too much water, too much corrosion. This chassis here, I don't know if you can see, but it actually has had a cap kit. So it's had some sort of a rebuild in its recent past. I think this chassis was actually on a 20-inch tube in a lowboy cabinet and it was working when removed. I think it's just that the tube that was with that chassis was at end of life and was quite dim, so that's why that was pulled out. So I think that's handy to have. Let's get something set up, get this tube tested. Well, great news. Up in my parts I found yet another Nanao chassis, and it is the same as this one in here, as the water damage one, and this is quite clean. And it has a tag that it's been looked at not that long ago. So look here, we're in business. Blue and red's good, probably a touch on the bright side, and green needs to come up a bit. I'll just drop that brightness a little bit. Probably see we've got our colour adjustments on the neck board, but I just tried with the green here and it didn't make much difference, so I will do it here. If it gets too complicated, I'll put the test pattern generator on and do it that way. Get in there. So, odd place to have the RGB gain. Oh, wrong end. That'll do it. Okay, there we go. Doesn't seem to be making much difference to the green, actually. Yeah, definitely got to play around with it a bit. Well, I just find Shinobi so hard to get colour adjustments on, so I just changed it to Golden Axe. It was much easier. This is actually brighter on camera than it actually is in person. Always happens. But picture is good enough. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's definitely good enough. We will have a working hang on soon. Stay with us. Well, we know now that we can have a working monitor, so now it's time to get on to the wiring. That's really just a power supply check. What I'll do first is pull out the game PCB, then start going over some wires. Well, I thought it was just all moisture damage, but look, bloody hell, another rat's house. I did not expect that. Well, there you go. Hopefully no chewed wires. You see, I just drilled through till it actually dropped the cam off. Yikes. That gives an idea of how much water this machine has seen. Well, sorry, Mikey. Finders keepers. Right, let me get my super goggles on. What have we got? Ooh. 1975, 20-cent piece. And a very sad looking $2 coin. Can read the date on that one. Well, I have to clean that to read that date. I cannot see it. Oh. Australian $2 coin. Alright, well, first check now that everything's unplugged is just the power in, or the power for this is orange and black. Feeds this transformer here, but I'm plugged in at Australian 240 volt and I'm getting 116. That means that inside here somewhere is a hidden step down transformer, which hopefully isn't a rusty block. I'll have to check that out because it may need cleaning up or something if it's anything like this one here. I don't even know why they put this 240 volt sticker on here, because it's only fed in theory 110, and it does just say on here 110. So I don't know what that's about, but well, that's good. That means we've got that, and the next thing is to get this on a bench and then power this up and make sure I'm getting the certain power supply that I need. As you can see, it's all into this, and then so power's, like I said before, the power's fed in through this orange and black. This comes out at 110 for the monitor, and then there's the other supply through the fuse, which is powering the, I think it's 24 for the sound, through this rectifier capacitor into this soundboard or little amplifier, which is absolutely toast. And obviously we mentioned before, this is the power supply supplying the usual voltage for the game boards. This has actually seen a mountain of water, so we won't even be testing that. We'll just put a brand new one on. I hope with these boards we've got as replacements, we've got ribbon cables, because I don't want to reuse these ribbon cables because they've seen too much moisture. Also, a lot of these plugs are actually, I'm going to give them a good dousing of deoxit, because some of them are corroded, some very mild, but then others are worse. So I don't know if you can quite make that out. The right light, like that's a bad one there. You can actually see. Can you see? Oh, there you go. You can see the bright ones and then the corroded ones in there. So hopefully deoxit sorts that. Otherwise, that's going to be a real drama replacing plugs and sockets, which I really do not want to do. All right, let's get this on the bench. All right, we're now on the bench. Would you have a look at this board? Probably one of the worst I've seen. There is no hope for this one. Even the parts on it, maybe you could get something off of it. I highly doubt it. Maybe off the boards below you could get something. It's going to be hard enough to just clean up the original transformer and the wiring harness to accept the new stuff. All right, I'll start stripping it off. Well, I've opened up this side of the cabinet because I kind of had to, because this harness has to come out now to repair all the wires, because there's so many chewed up wires in here that I can't do those repairs down in there. So I've got to pull out this harness now. So this is, I've just started to mark the harness because I really want to know what's what. I don't want to lose track of it. The service and coin tower. So I'll get this harness out in a minute. But you see this potentiometer here is actually the one for turning the bike. So when you lean over, it's this potentiometer here. You can just, well, I don't know if you can make it out, maybe the light's not very good in there. But a really robust machine. So that's taken straight off the pivot point, which is this big solid bar here. And you can see how the machine works. This is the spring mechanism. I'll just move the bike so we can see that in action. Looks to be quite a robust mechanism. Should I put another light on here so we can see properly. And look at that, a grease nipple, a grease nipple point for the bearing. Now that I put a light in here, you can see how ugly it really is. And I'm leaving the rat's house to Mikey. He can clean that out. I'm not going to do all the dirty work. I'm really not looking forward to repairing this harness. It's really going to be a mundane job. Let's get it out. Well, this is the last repair. There's a couple other little ones, but this is the last major repair. It's just this lot of RGB wires that were chewed off. And what it was hanging on by a wire or two, but I just snipped the whole lot. I'm going to remove it. What it is I marked it. I think it's like an auxiliary RGB, and what that might be for is a second screen that spectators back in the day might have been able to watch. A bit like Afterburner has auxiliary for sound and video as well. So what I noticed is in the plugs here, you can see they're actually all bridged. So the two blues and the two reds and the two greens and sync, etc., all just have to be joined together. So I'm going to join them together. I'm not going to be including this now. I'm going to join these wires together, put the heat shrink on, well, solder, then put the heat shrink on. This is the other end of the RGB here. This goes to the chassis, and this to the game PCB. So in theory, if I join them together, I should be able to just put multimeters end to end, and that should be fixed there. So I'll do that now. All right, well, just been testing Hang On PCBs and getting nowhere fast. We've got a partially running one. Today, Mikey's going to do the honours and clean out this rat's house, aren't you, Mikey?
Got the fun job.
Yay.
Can't wait. All right.
I've had enough of rat houses. I've done about 3 of them in the last couple of months.
Yeah. Good fun.
So what are we going to do today? Just a bit of a vacuum and clean up?
Take out all the rat's nest, clean it up, give it a bit of vac and see what we're up against, get a better look at it really.
Yeah.
And we've done a few tests on that board, which were no good, unfortunately.
All right, cool. Get to it. Looks better already.
Certainly does.
I don't know, I'll probably try and find you some sort of attachment to get down in there or something, maybe?
Yeah. Right.
You know what, it could actually look alright with just a really thorough clean, and then if it was sprayed with something, it probably wouldn't be half bad. Well, Mikey, that looks bloody great.
Stage 1 of cleaning.
Yeah, it looks real clean.
But yeah, she's going to need a few more attacks at it, but we'll get there eventually.
And what are you thinking? We're just going to spend time on the bits you see and maybe just tart this lower half up a bit?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we'll just maybe see how we go, see how much time it's going to take. But
I suppose it's a bit up in the air at the moment exactly what will and won't be done.
It'd be nice to have it all looking brand new, but yeah, how far do you go? And especially on this section where you'll never see it, so
Yeah.
providing it's all clean and you know got the rust kill on it and whatnot, then it shouldn't be too bad.
Speaking of this rust kill, I found you this stuff here, and where was it? It says, oh yeah, look, it actually says for motorbikes.
Ticks the box.
I've had this bottle for how long and it's never been used, so we might use it on this. Bit of R10, whatever that is. Should do the trick.
Coming along nicely.
But yeah, man, it's looks better already just with a clean. The rat's house.
Yep.
I'm hoping to sort out my own, which is this upright. I'm actually going to use the PCB out of this for my first testing for the deluxe cabinet we're working on. So I'll pull the PCB out of this. This game actually has a few issues which I'm not sure yet if it's PCB related or wiring, but it actually has some game glitches where you actually lose control of the bike and brake applies. My initial testing was sort of telling me that everything was okay and maybe it was more PCB related, but I'll soon know once I get this PCB out. And on another wiring harness, if those same issues are there, then we'll know. So here it is here. So the soundboard on this one's all working. And apart from those glitches, it's a good way to test the other wiring harness to start with until I get some other boards to work with. I get the feeling some of this stuff might have to go to the guru. Here's this is more SEGA Hang On stuff right here. So we've got a bit of stuff to play with.
How am I supposed to get across that? There we go.
Just doing a little test here.
No, we're not. I'm going for my top score. Got to get my name on the board.
Steering here with the little potentiometer.
And we've got the whole handlebar assembly on the bench.
We do. You're going all right.
Yikes. A lot of bikes on track.
I think they're called enemies, aren't they?
I'm not going to make the first checkpoint after that lousy start. Anyway, that's a complete hang on running on the bench.
Unreal. Good job.
Well, I've had this upright hang on for 3 or 4 years now, and it has never worked properly. And I did kind of try and work out what was wrong a couple of years ago, but couldn't really get on top of it. So it's just kind of been waiting on the side for another day type thing. So anyway, while we're on the hang on marathon, trying to get this deluxe cabinet working for Mikey, it's time to have a look at mine. So I did, and look, this is where the inputs come through to the PCB, and after realising that it must be a PCB problem, after exhausting all efforts to test everything else, I came to the conclusion that after tracing the inputs to these first 2 chips, I thought it's just worth a try to take those chips out and replace them. On my PCB in that machine there, it's actually socketed, so it was actually a quick, easy test, and lo and behold, problem solved. So obviously the input chips were bad. We're going to put them in the guru's tester hopefully and let him have a look, and he can tell me what those chips actually do, and if they were bad, they should test bad. Anyway, so I'm working on a second PCB set now, and I've kind of got a game almost working. I can't get it better than that, but it is nearly working. You can see push start button, credit 1, SEGA 1985. I'm not sure if you can see that on screen, but it is nearly there. This is where I check out and the guru takes over. Hopefully he will have a second board set working for me soon. There'll be a log for that repair, no doubt. Once we have a second working PCB set, I'm going to dummy it up into the Hang On Deluxe machine and actually have a go at this thing. Well, the next chore for Hang On is to do something with these wheels, and whilst the wheels still turn, the actual bearing for the swivel of the wheel, I guess you'd call it, is worn, and what it means is these wheels actually hit the frame when they turn around, and that's all 4 of them. So I had an idea. I've got a bunch of these. I've got a whole box of them, so where they came from I do not remember, but they are solid enough. They have a really good bearing, and they'll work well, but the problem is is for the same reason. I want to keep this wheel clear of this the actual frame of the machine. So that's going to mean I actually have to extend this bracket out, and then we'll mount it up with 4 bolts. So extend the steel, drill 4 holes, bolt the wheels up, and then Hang On should roll around quite nicely. Because at the moment we're just rolling it around on these dollies and it really isn't working well. So in terms of Hang On being held in position, these wheels don't have a locking mechanism like these, don't either. There is actually supposed to be one of these at the end of each of these bars, so that screws up underneath. I'm going to have to find a set of 4 of these, probably a little bit bigger, and then check the threads under here, make sure that the threads are still good, and put them up in there. There will also be a locking nut so they don't move. Well, that's all 4 wheels done now. Got plenty of clearance at the back here. I think that worked out quite well. Nothing left to do but to clean up my big mess and get this back down. Well, great news, we've got boards back from the Guru. We've got this board set here plus a second board set. If you'd like to know more about what went on with these boards, you can visit gurudumps.atenco.com. Now, while all this was happening, we learnt more about Hang On. So for those who don't know, and that was including myself, is there's 3 different versions of Hang On. There is the ride-on bike here, the upright, plus there was a second kind of upright with a seat in front. And that kind of explains why we've got revision A, one board set that says sit down upright. Now this board set is not for this bike, at least not with these chips in it anyway. So the Guru has gone ahead and put ride-on chips in that board set there, so that is ready to go for the ride-on. Now what we're thinking, the main difference is that the ride-on uses the footbed switches. So how that affects gameplay at the moment, we really don't know. But we'll finish off this video with a bit of footage of me dummying up the wiring harness into the cabinet with the CRT so I can do some further testing and work out a way to get working foot switches. Now, there will be a part 2 where we do further repair work and testing, but for now, that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, you know what to do, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.